Thank you very much, Tracy, and all of you guys for this opportunity. Thank you, Adrian. Thank as well Heather and Kelly. Today, Heather replied about the dozens of emails with so many doubts that I have, so I'm very grateful to you all. Well, my subject is very practical. It is about social media tools in teachers training and the experience on a training course on ICT basic skills I gave in 2011 at a school in Portugal, where I also was an ICT teacher. This school is located in Seixal on the south bank of Lisbon, and you can imagine if you are, by instance, in New York City, it's a little bit like being at the Bronx, so you may imagine. Well, the presentation is divided in 4 parts. I will very quickly pass my bio, then afterwards you can come back here if this thing matters to anyone. And the contents of my presentation are what is social media. I believe everybody knows what it's about, but let's just focus on the concept. Then the top tools of social media. And the third and most important, I believe, is why social media in teacher training. Finally, I will present a case study that, as a matter of fact, is or was the course that I gave a couple of years ago. Well, so what is social media? Well, if you Google or if you ping it, and those are 2 new verbs that we have on our vocabulary, that means to search for information on the internet. So to Bing or to Google, a definition for social media, you may find something like social media refers to the means of interaction among people in which they create, share, and exchange information and ideas in virtual communities and networks. So, what is this all about? This is all about the Web 2.0 generation, we can say, or the current Web 2.0. And many times in my courses, I start by asking people, so what is Web 2.0? Is it a technology? And the majority of the people will reply, yes, it is. Well, no, it isn't. Web 2.0 is not a technology, it's a concept. And what is that concept about? That concept is about the possibility of interact on the web with the tools, with the wikis, and create, share, and exchange information and ideas in virtual communities. And if we give a couple of examples of it, I think everybody will understand. So what are the top tools of the Web 2.0? Here you have some examples. I think everybody knows what Facebook is, what Twitter is, what YouTube is, or many other social networks that we may find. And right at the center of the slide, we find a new one, the Microsoft Partners in Learning. This is an example of a social media tool that allows us to interact over the web and share experience, share the best practices that we do. And as teachers, of course, because this is a close community for teachers. But let's start from the beginning. On my training courses, many times I ask people, please tell me, which is the most populated country in the world? And people start thinking, well, and they start giving examples, China, India, Russia, the United States. Okay, and they say, okay, that's pretty good. So the most populous country in the world is China. Yes, it is. Then next comes India. And then on third place, people will say the United States. And I will reply, well, maybe not. Maybe Facebook. Because as a matter of fact, you can find over 1 billion active users on Facebook. So what best tool can we have to communicate with each other? Then, of course, we have all the others, and I'm sure you know what it's about. Later on, when you download this presentation, you may find hyperlinks on all the icons and all the sources that I quote here, and you can go directly to those contents. So, sources quoted, and this is another example of what Web 2.0 is hyperlink to all the content and interact with it and share it. That's the point. So, moving on to why social media in teachers' training is important. Well, it's important. I think it's quite easy for us to realize, but I think it's important for 4 main reasons. Connectivity, interaction, mobility, and keep up to date with all the information. So we are teachers, we are trainers, and we are trainees and students as well, because we must learn and keep on learning throughout our lives. So social media allow us to connect with each other in a more easiest way. And afterwards, I will give my example on that course that I gave, because I start in the most conventional way and just giving lectures, classes to the people. And all of a sudden, I realized that, well, maybe it would be better if I can interact with the people. Why not to create a weblog? Why not to create a Facebook group? And that's what I just did. So connectivity is one of the things why social media is important. The other is interaction, because when a student, a trainee, asks you a question, you can reply almost immediately and share that reply with all the others, online or some other way. Then mobility, because as Tracy said at the beginning, hey, there are people here from all over the world, from North America, Europe, Africa, South America, Asia. Well, I don't know if someone in Mars is listening to us. No, I don't think so. But, okay, we can be anywhere. We can be at the beach. We can be, well, any place, and we can connect, and we can study and learn and teach and share those experiences. That's why social media is very important. And update comes together with all those concepts. So let me speak a little bit about the case study. So it was a course. As a matter of fact, it was 2 courses that come one after the other. It was almost 75 trainees that I got, and all of them were my colleagues at school, because it was a school where I was also an ICT teacher. And most important, or not, among those people was the full board of directors. So they were my trainees as well. And as I told you a little while ago, I start by telling to the people, okay, we're going to do a conventional class, and what do you expect from this training? And, well, 99% of the people say, oh, I want to learn Excel, but I don't know much about Excel, she said Word. But the majority of them want to learn about Excel. Then, all of a sudden, just one girl that was there, a young grammar school teacher, said, oh, I want to learn how to create a blog. Oh, that's pretty much interesting. So that's what I did. Between the first class and second class, I create a web blog. I created at the WordPress, I believe everybody knows, but you can create it in many other tools that are online, and you can share it with everybody. So afterwards, if you come to this slide, you can just click over this logo that is here on the right-hand side of the slide, the professional blog, and you can go straight to my blog. Well, I closed it a couple of years ago, but this is the most fascinating of it, because it's still online, and people still visit it and still post it and still find it in all corners of the earth. That's the most amazing thing. The second thing I created, it was a Facebook private group. It was a private group, so only trainees could join. I was the manager of the group, so people have to send invitations, and they join and share the learning. And I can tell you, because a couple of years ago, the majority of the teachers who were doing this course were doing it because they really need to learn basic skills. There are people over 50 and even over 60 years old, and they never use a computer. Yes, this is true. know how to handle a mouse computer. They don't. So Facebook for them was completely unknown. So I have to tell them all about it. And the best way of learning, it was by sharing this experience. And the young teachers start teaching the oldest ones, and I can say by the end of the courses, the two courses, about 40%, and I think this is a good number, of the teachers join the Facebook private group. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. I think it's important to realize why these tools can also be important on training metrics, because we deal with data and we all have to report what we are doing, right? So how can we use metrics with social, how can we say, social media tools? Well, online, first of all, we can count the number of posts or comments that are made on the blog, on Facebook, or some other tool. It is a way of measuring what people, how many participants we have, and also to assess what people are saying. Then opinion share is very important as well. I think everybody knows how to share a post on Facebook. So when you write something on Facebook, or when you read something that someone else has wrote on Facebook, you can share it. Just click a button and immediately you'll be online. So this is another way of measure if this is important for you or not. Imagine if you are giving a training course and then you post the content, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 students or trainees share it. It means you can measure how far it reached. Another way are contact form replies. If you have the opportunity of visiting my blog, you can find that I create a form with specific fields that the trainees or someone else who has questions about it can contact me. So they have to click or to select some of options that are in there, and like that I can measure what they are asking about and what are their doubts and something like that. Finally, one very important tool are the tools. As you did here over the previous sections on live meeting, you opened several tools to people vote. And on the blog, you can open those tools as well. So as you can see on the lower right-hand corner of this slide, you can find an example. It's in Portuguese. Well, I think not many of you will understand it, but it's an example of a tool that is already closed. I made a print screen of it to here to this PowerPoint slide. And and the question that I asked over there is the training for you not important, not very much important, few important, regular, important, or very much important? And people reply. So it was a way of doing my evaluation as well, and listen to the people's opinion on the content that I was giving on classes. So I made this question, but I made several others as well. If you have the chance to visit my blog, I'm sure you're going to, and then you can use other translating tools that you can find online and know what the contents are about. And most important, you can know what the opinion of the people was. You can no longer vote because I already closed the tools. Okay, finally, let's see the evaluation that I did about using these tools. Well, first of all, the numbers. And over there you have official information, I can say, from WordPress, because each year on January the 1st, this is quite important, they send by default, of course, a report on the number of visitors, where the visitors come from, and all those things. And I was a little bit surprised to realize that in 2011, I had over 5,000 visits to the blog. over 5,000 views. And then you can see a train from the New York subway carries about 1,200 people. So this blog was viewed about 5,100 times in 2011. So if it was a train, it would need 5 trips for everyone to visit. Well, then, of course, you have all the other statistics about the number of articles that were published, the number of pictures, all those things. And one interesting piece of information, the day with the most traffic was on March 15, with 295 views. Well, this was, as a matter of fact, during class, because when I present the blog, say, now we have the tool for everybody to use. Please go online and visit. And people were fascinating. Oh, and then if you can read the post that they wrote on day one and all those things. Okay, finally, one final point is about where from people visit the blog, and just in 2011. So just in 2011, people visit from South America, from Brazil, well, Portuguese-speaking country, so it's easy to understand why. Then from Europe, of course, the majority, 99.9%, came from Portugal, but also high-added visits from Lithuania. This is incredible. I don't know if someone from Lithuania is now online. Thank you very much for visiting it. And as well from Asia, and from Indonesia, China, Vietnam, Saudi Arabia. One could never imagine that I get visits from all around the world, and for a blog that is only available in Portuguese. For me, this was amazing, and I did not publish any data relating to 2012, last year, but I can add that last year the blog was also visits from North America, from the United States, and also from South America, Africa, and from Europe as well. So, and the blog, I can tell you, it's just there. I think it's closed now. I will not publish anything else because it was made specifically for those 2 training courses, but it's still online, and from time to time, people still go there. So, to draw a conclusion, it's a very important tool, or are very important tools, because social media is not just one tool, it's a group of tools, and if we combine it, if we use it on the proper way, we can bring many people who don't have ICT skills to start using those tools, and as well to develop in a far better way the training that we gave. So that is it. Thank you very much for listening, and now I will be answering your questions if you have any. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Carlos. I think that you made the point grandly that you can use these social media tools, these Web 2.0 tools, to not only expand your reach, but really to increase engagement, which is so important because, as we've seen from the research on the professional development that works as well as doesn't, we know that kind of one-shot interventions or one-shot workshops are not very effective. And so one way to continue engagement going on over time and creating kind of a virtual learning community is to utilize some of these Web 2.0 tools, and sometimes with unintended consequences. So as you pointed out, you started a blog in Brazil, and yet ended up getting contributions and comments from around the world. The other thing you talked about was the importance of utilizing it as a measurement or feedback tool, which I think is quite valuable, and I know that Helen is going to be talking more in depth about utilizing those tools as a feedback mechanism as well. So thank you so very much, Carlos.